It feels incredibly shameful to admit, but as a married woman, I find myself in this peculiar relationship with my father-in-law. Truth be told, I prefer him over my own husband. My marriage was devoid of love. To my knowledge, our family was among the wealthiest in our circle. I heard from my parents that when they got married, they started with absolutely nothing. They stumbled upon a small business opportunity, worked hard, and as a result, invested their earnings into real estate, eventually owning several properties. However, a trusted business partner betrayed my father, resulting in the collapse of their business. After selling off most of our assets, our family of 3 moved into a smaller house. Through a distant relative of my mother, we met a man. His parents were involved in a booming business and had made a substantial fortune. However, the man I was introduced to was extremely introverted and shy, having never really dated anyone. In truth, I had been in a relationship for 5 years with a friend from the same school program. My parents deeply disapproved of him. He was the youngest of 3 brothers and had to take on the role of the family breadwinner due to his elder brother's personal issues, which led to squandering the family's fortune. Honestly, our relationship was wonderful, but my parents opposed it, fearing the man could be after our family's wealth and believing that starting a relationship with known issues only leads to an obvious conclusion. Due to my parents' strong opposition, I had no choice but to painfully part ways with him. Soon after, my father's business failed, and we faced incredibly tough times. The man I was introduced to was decent in looks and education, but lacked boldness. He seemed to like me a lot, but couldn't show a masculine side. However, my parents hoped I would marry into his well-off family to live a life without financial worries, and I decided to follow their wishes. Well, this man won't cause me any trouble in life. Maybe affection will grow over time. With that thought, I resigned myself to a loveless marriage. My father-in-law was a very masculine man, tall and fit. He played badminton 3 times a week. I was surprised to learn he didn't drink and took good care of himself, the complete opposite of my father. While preparing for the wedding with my husband, I did feel a bit of affection growing. However, memories of my old boyfriend haunted me, so I decided to leave him in the past. My father-in-law casually mentioned, "I want to make sure your in-laws can live comfortably by seeing you 2 get along well. Try to live a sweet life together." Our honeymoon was awkward. My husband was incredibly innocent, and I struggled to appear even more so, but I resolved to take responsibility for my decision. He worked in his father's business, while I waited at home, doing household chores. My father-in-law did everything he could to help my father get back on his feet. My parents were pleased to have such reliable in-laws. However, my husband seldom initiated conversations, which made our relationship feel distant despite being newlyweds. I began to doubt if I could spend my life with him and felt this marriage was a mistake, though I couldn't end it easily considering my parents. My patience was tested by my husband's passivity, but it wasn't something I could show to our parents. My kind in-laws asked, "Oh, we can't wait any longer. When will we see our grandchildren?" To which I could only respond with a smile. One evening, when my husband was away on a business trip, I was about to have dinner alone. After preparing the meal and taking a shower, I found my father-in-law sitting on the massager. Shocked, I realized I had left the door unlocked while showering. I brought walnut pie for my beautiful daughter-in-law. Sorry about that, he said, turning his head. I quickly covered myself with a towel and ran into the bedroom. After getting dressed, I returned to him and laughed. I've been so forgetful lately. I even showered without locking the door. He mentioned he thought of me on his way back from playing badminton and stopped by a bakery. Let me prepare dinner for you, I said, and quickly set the table, serving the walnut pie. He remarked, I know my son well. He's too kind but too timid. I understand what you might be feeling. Despite that, I hope you two can get along well. It was then I noticed my father-in-law's fit, youthful appearance. It seemed he felt the same way about me. We spent the late night together, and for the first time since getting married, I felt good. My mother-in-law prefers to sleep in separate rooms for comfort at night. My father-in-law mentioned he had been going through a hard time. We spent every day together until my husband returned from his business trip. He fulfilled my requests, marveling whether this was a dream or reality, and expressed his satisfaction. I asked him if what we were doing was okay. He confessed that he had rushed his son into marrying me because he found me so beautiful and wanted to keep seeing me. He said, think of it as the father stepping in, where my son couldn't fill the role of a husband. Our relationship continues to this day. The fact that my father's business recovered with his help was a bonus. I feel like I couldn't live without my healthy and handsome father-in-law.